All right, welcome to another trading analytics video. This week in the stock market has already been very eventful. We still have CPI and PPI ahead of us. So that's why I want to get into a few charts tonight. That way we can kind of know what to expect going forward. I'm going to go ahead and kick things right off with the S&P 500 or SPY. As you guys can see, we did fill that gap on SPY right around 604. If I go to our line chart, let me see if I can get that for you guys really quick. If you go to our line chart, you can see that we did put in this double top. We broke the neckline and we've been pulling back from there. At this stage, at this moment, I think what can essentially happen is we can pull back to this $600 psych level and essentially put in a higher low. Or we might go ahead and pull back to 598, and 598 could also be a very significant bounce level. We could bounce from there as well. It's going to be determined what happens with the CPI tomorrow, right, and the PPI the following day. I don't know if that's going to bring upside. Nobody really knows what's on the report. So I'm very excited to see what happens first thing in the morning. But at this stage here, it's no need to guess. Simply follow price and everything will be fine, right? So if we put in a higher low, then obviously, if you guys have been in your long swings and you have some runners, you're going to be doing just fine. Or I think if we get the pullback down to the $600 psych level or the 598 level, these are just going to present buying opportunities for the most part, because I do believe we probably will put in a new high heading into the end of the year. So I think all is well overall on SPY. Now, obviously, if we lose 598, that might be a sign that we are rolling over. That'd be a nice little pivot high. If we lose that level, I do believe there's some trouble in paradise. So you probably want to get risk off under 598 if you're in a lot of longs. I don't see that. I don't anticipate that. However, we have to play price action as it comes. So yeah, that's all you pretty much need to know, right? 598 is a very, very big level. If we lose it, risk off. Above it, risk on. All right, jumping over to the Nasdaq 100 or QQQ. Unlike SPY, we did not fill our gap today. We made a very, very nice attempt at it. We essentially did pull back after we had the pivot, lost 521, and we essentially started heading towards the 517 gap fill. One of our traders, Momentum Trades, did alert some QQQ puts. I think he did around 800% on those. The server did really, really well there. Around the same time, I did go ahead and alert some SPY puts, essentially noting that I thought that the market was possibly going to have a knife towards the end of the day, and we essentially saw that. I think those ran just around 700% or very, very close to it. So yeah, we did really, really well with some quick short scalps towards the end of the day. But from here, right, if QQQ does fill the gap, it'll be right around 517 as mentioned. And from there, we could easily see a bounce. If we do not bounce from the 517 level, I would expect that we'll come down here and test the 20 EMA, or come down and test this trend line that we've been bouncing from for quite a while. As you can see here, and here, we've been bouncing from this same trend line for quite a while. I do believe that these are all just going to be terrific dip buys if we get them. So I think the biggest thing to watch is after filling this 517 gap, if we do fill it, after filling it, are we going to get a bounce from there, or are we going to come a little lower towards the 20 EMA or this trend line to get the bounce? Regardless of the fact, I think there's going to be some nice dip buying opportunities in tech, and I think we can ride those going out to the end of the year. So just keep an eye out on CPI once again tomorrow. I think we're going to get a lot of our answers. Jumping over to Nvidia, it was a very rocky day for this chip name. As you guys can see, just looking right at the chart, we do have this head and shoulders like pattern here. I do want to show you guys one thing. If I can switch over to our line chart really quick. Let's see if I can get it up here. There you go. So we obviously had a double bottom here on the daily chart. We got a nice move up from there. We were expecting, as Nvidia was pulling back, that we would retest this breakout before heading higher. We did take a loss on that in our Discord server. We were trying to front run a little bit and anticipate the bounce from there. Essentially, we didn't get that, right? Let me just jump right back over to our candles here. So we didn't get that. We, like I mentioned before, we did get stopped out on that one. Obviously, at NTA, we don't hide from our losses. We talk about the losses just as much as the wins. So essentially, from here, we do have this nice trend line on Nvidia as well as the lower Bollinger Band. We could get a nice dead cat bounce from here, possibly, not sure. We have to obviously let more price action play out. But again, we do have this head and shoulders. The next level down from here, if we don't catch support here, essentially we do have 130 psych level. You can see from here, we've been, this has been a pretty critical level for Nvidia. We've been getting nice bounces from here, and it was very nice resistance before. So again, 130, if we don't bounce from here, 130 would be in the cards. Below 130, we can start looking pretty hairy, getting down to 123 and lower. Obviously, we'll go level by level. If we lose 130, we'll come back and do some more coverage on Nvidia. But again, there is a decent chance of a bounce here. We obviously have to wait to see how tomorrow plays out. But again, the full measured move of this head and shoulders is staring bulls in the face. And so if they don't step in quickly, this could get out of hand. All right, jumping over to Google stock, we were very excited about this one this morning when we woke up. As you guys can see, we did take this in our Discord server. It was actually taken in our $1,000 to $10,000 challenge accounts. We basically run those challenges once a quarter in the Trading Analytics Discord server. This is the third one we've done. Both of the previous ones did hit $10,000 successfully. Essentially what we do is we take $1,000, we deposit it into a brokerage account, and then one of the TA mods will essentially lead the way on the challenge. And so this one is being led by Trade Runner. Google is one of his favorite trades to play. And obviously this trade was fantastic for him. Essentially here on the daily chart, as you guys can see, we essentially put in a inverted head and shoulder, and it took a little while. I think we were sitting in this one for about 3 days or so. And yeah, we basically got a very, very nice breakout of the inverted head and shoulder. I think there was some news that came out about some chip or whatever they're doing. I don't know. But at the end of the day, very, very nice win for our Discord server. At this stage here, though, we are a little overextended. We are outside of our upper Bollinger Band, so you got to be, really careful here. If we are to pull back here and we basically come in with inside of this upper trend line here, we could easily come back down and fill this gap before heading higher again. Or, like I said, we could just simply consolidate here for a while and then before take another leg higher. We obviously need to see more price action, but in our Discord server we already took profits on this one. I think it was a 200% win overall. So really, really exciting for the 10K challenge. If you are looking to join the 10K challenge, you can use the link to our Discord in the description of this video. You can obviously join there and then obviously reach out to one of us and we'll get you set up in the 10K challenge. All right, jumping over to Netflix stock, I wanted to quickly cover this one with everyone. There's a potential trade here that you guys could do pretty well on if you put some time on some contracts here and maybe swing trade it. Obviously not financial advice. As you guys can see, Netflix had a nice little run up here and essentially hit the upper trend line, pulled back, and we've been riding this lower trend line here for quite a while. And so this is pretty much a low risk entry on Netflix. You can easily take some call options here and see if we can get the a nice move up to this upper trend line over time. It might take a couple weeks to a month to get this full move done. Who knows? But I do believe this is showing a very low risk entry at the moment. Now, obviously, what does low risk mean? Low risk means that there's still risk, right? And so basically, if we were to lose this lower trend line here, you can stop out really quick for a very minimal loss. That's the meaning of low risk. Now, if you don't have any kind of risk management skills and you let this trade just simply fall away to an oblivion, obviously it's not going to be low risk. You're going to obviously take a pretty big loss if you don't use risk management. But basically from this trend line, it's very, very easy to manage risk from here. You can easily take calls here and obviously just watch and see if it holds this trend line. And if we start getting a bounce, then you'll obviously be in profit and you can secure profits on the way up and simply ride it until you get to this upper trend line. This is obviously not financial advice. You're doing so at your own risk if you decide to use this information. We are not financial advisors here, so be very, very careful taking that information down for yourself. So I am warning you on that part. But again, for us, this looks like a pretty low risk entry. Obviously, like I said, you just need to manage risk if you were to lose this lower trend line. All right, last but certainly not least, I want to put Celsius Holdings on you guys' radar. This was actually put on our radar by one of our Discord members, AJ. He posted it in the premium chat for us during one of our competitions that we run. And this was one of the favorite charts that I saw that was posted in there. And I really, really like it. It reminds me a lot of the Google trade that I went over earlier in the video with this daily inverted head and shoulder. And so, as mentioned, we do have this upper trend line here. that we did essentially, start breaking out of. However, we are running this into some trouble here with the 50 EMA. If we're able to get over the 50 EMA, I do believe we'll probably come up here and test that 100 EMA. I think it'll look something kind of like this, like that, right? And so I do believe this could be a very lucrative swing trade if played correctly. Obviously, you have to select your cons correctly, all of that. So again, if you guys are interested in swing trades just like this one, as mentioned early in the video, you can use the link to our Discord server. We do mainly swing trading on there in our Discord server. We do very, very well with it. As I told you before, our whole $1,000 to $10,000 challenge is mainly done through effective swing trading. So, obviously we find very powerful setups pretty much on a daily basis there. So link to all of that will be in the description of this video. Obviously, like I mentioned before, we do have CPI and PPI. Well, CPI is tomorrow. PPI will be on Thursday. So lots of volatility should be ahead for this market. So we hope you guys have a great CPI tomorrow, and as well as PPI, and a profitable trading day. Have a blessed day. We'll see you guys soon.
Perfect.